Yes, and I just want to thank Mark Sutherland for joining us earlier on the programme. We move on now, though, and the European Union's aid chief, Hadja Lahbib, says Israel is not fully implementing the Gaza agreement, adding that while some progress is visible on the ground, it is far from sufficient. Speaking on the situation in Gaza, Lahbib acknowledged minor improvements in aid access and humanitarian conditions, but stressed that the pace remains too slow. She urged Israel to take further steps to meet its commitments under the deal, calling for sustained international pressure to ensure meaningful progress. Well, joining us to discuss this is Dr. Satoru Nagao, a fellow at the Hudson Institute, who is joining us from Tokyo, Japan. As always, Dr. Nagao, thank you ever so much for joining us towards the end of the programme today. Let's look at the situation on the ground. Of course, conversations around a ceasefire have generally been positive, it seems, with optimism coming from the US and Israel, with mediators like Qatar and Egypt also involved, but questions being raised about the speed in which this process is moving forward. What are your thoughts initially?
In this case, the core problem is Israel wished elimination of the Hamas because they are terrorists and they have attacked seriously. But the Hamas side tried to survive. So indeed, this is a negotiation of the zero and sum. So that's why for a long time it is very difficult to conclude between the two sides. But now the situation is gradually changed because the Hamas supported by Iran, but Iran's supporting power is declining drastically. So that's why the Hamas military power, of course, they are losing, and the supporting power from Iran is also losing. So under such kind of situation, this is a little bit better chance for Israel to agree to terminate Hamas. And indeed, the recent development also supports the situation because instead of the United Nations, who need to act under the Hamas governments, instead of the United Nations, U.S. NGOs start to deliver the food. So that's why the influence from Hamas is very limited to the people in the Gaza too. So that's why this is a little bit better chance compared with the past, better chance to agree. But still, one of the core problems exists. For Israel, the survival of Hamas is not acceptable. And for Hamas, the termination of the Hamas is not acceptable. So that problem, how to solve, is a matter. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Nagao, unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you ever so much for joining us, as always, on the programme. It is now time for us to have a look at some stories specifically from the Indo-Pacific region.